Animals that were carried below deck were carried in slings. They hung from the deck beams, so they swayed back and forth. They learned a long time beforehand that an animal below deck will fall down and break their legs if they're not slung. Now here's the stupid part that's really, really stupid. The 24 men who served on this ship lived on the deck. They ate on the deck and they slept on the deck. No one ever thought to sling themselves above the pine tar that they were sleeping in until they saw the Indians do it when they arrived in the Caribbean. This is a sailing vessel. Everything works. She sailed the Gulf of Mexico, the Atlantic Ocean, and 4 of the Great Lakes this year. Every bit of the rigging is run from the deck. No one has to go above to let the sails down, take them up, or change the attitude of the yards. It's all done by the ropes from down here. It looks complicated, but it is not. The men who sailed these ships would have been anywhere from 14 to 19 years old. And boys as young as 9 served on caravels. If you were a young, inexperienced sailor, your life was up here. In the sun, the wind, the rain, and the waves. The older men who were more experienced, and the officers lived in the back and on the upper deck where there was some protection. I am standing above the captain's quarters. That's the hole Columbus would have gone down to get to his quarters. Only man below deck. There's 4 feet of headroom below my feet. The man was 6'2", so he bent over a great deal. The ships carried cannons, but they were not for offense or defensive purposes. They were for communications. The PintaNina were so much faster than the Santa Maria, they'd get out ahead of her in the open ocean, so they'd fire shots. Here we are, where are you? Why can't you keep up? Now, this is the tiller. This is how we steer this boat. There is no modern means of steering the boat. This is how it's done. One person can handle the ship. She's highly maneuverable, very responsive to the helm. She draws 7 feet of water. She's very quick. And at 65 feet, even on large swells in the ocean, she'll ride like a cork over it. And that's why Columbus loved this ship, and he hated the Santa Maria, which was his big lumbering freighter. Drew 15 feet of water, and that was her undoing. Christmas Eve of the first voyage, the Nina and the Pinta, they sailed over a reef, didn't know they had done it. The Santa Maria comes behind and runs aground on the reef. She starts to break up in the surf. They tear the ship apart for all the timbers that they can recover. Columbus says, build a fort, I'll be back in 1 year for you. When he returns, they're all dead. The Indians have killed them. And that's when he took his revenge on the Indians of Hispaniola.